Gordon Banks was at Stoke at the time. He was like the youth team coach.
You know, I was watching him in training at times and different things of that nature, you know, and then watching him play in the first team. And he was doing well.
King. Again he bends the shot and a brilliant save! Peter Shilton has again saved Stoke.
Unfortunately, from then on, the second season, the roof blew off the stand and it wasn't insured, and they had to sort of sell every player they got really to pay for the rebuilding.
Brian Clough bringing his Nottingham Forest side to London, 4 points clear at the top of the First Division.
I always admired Brian Clough. I knew he'd tried to sign me for Derby County when I was at Leicester.
It's a side with a winning balance to it, a defence that's been strengthened enormously by the signing of Peter Shilton from Stoke City, a goalkeeper that Clough and Taylor have admired for several seasons.
I had a lot of respect for Clough, and I actually phoned him up when he was at Forest and said, look, do you mind if I have a chat with you? You've not met before. And we had a bit of lunch together. I suppose they would say tapping up these days, but it wasn't like that. I just wanted to meet the fellow, and he gave me a bit of a boost.
And again, Shilton to the rescue.
Well, I personally feel, but, you know, it's only opinion, obviously, that he's the best goalkeeper in the country. But it's opinion that stimulates the interest in football, whether people get the sack or whether they're retained and all that type of thing. I feel that Peter Shilton is the best goalkeeper.
It was a bit of a kind of situation signing for Forest, actually, because in those days I was one of the first players to have what I called them advisors. They were actually business people from Leicester. So they had pinstripe suits on, briefcases, walked into the City Ground, and I couldn't wait. I just wanted to sign for Forest. And Cloughie stood there, green rugby top, shorts, scruffy trainers with his squash racket. He says, go in there, I'll see you in 5 minutes. So we went and sat in this room. About an hour later, which I learnt later was typical Cloughie trick, he says, the secretary came and says, come and see Mr. Clough now. So we went to go into his office, and I thought I'll let my advisors go first. And all of a sudden, I kind of tripped up and dropped his briefcase and papers flying everywhere. I thought, what's gone off here? I looked down and Clough is sat on the floor and he's tripping them up with his squash racket. I thought, these negotiations aren't going to go very well. And he didn't really want to speak to them at all. He was really off with them. He just didn't like advisors. He didn't like anything like that. And in the end, the negotiations broke up. I couldn't believe it. I was gutted. So the next morning, I'm at home, the phone goes about 8:30, and it's Cloughie. He says, I want to meet you at a hotel in Derby. So I thought, I'm not missing this chance. So I drove over in my car, walked in, and him and Pete Taylor sat there. They still got a bottle of champagne on ice at 11 o'clock in the morning, opened, and within 15 minutes, I'd agreed terms, and I'd signed for Forest. And obviously, the greatest part of my career in terms of club football happened. Goalkeepers are born.
It was an obsession, really.
You've been under a bit of pressure this week, really, haven't you?
Everybody makes mistakes in life, and you have to stand and fall by them.
The Football League Championship comes to Nottingham Forest. The championship side put together by those two men, Brian Clough and Peter Taylor. Peter Shilton, the man whose goalkeeping has done so much for this side.
On the day we won the league, you know, I had a very special match for myself. We needed a point to clinch the title, and it was very special for me because I made one of the saves that people will remember in my career. I managed to get a hand to it and twisted it and knocked it over the bar. Finally, you know, to win the championship was unbelievable. We qualified for the European Cup. We were all excited. We were trying to get like one of the top teams in Europe. I don't know, Barcelona or somebody, you know, for the fans to see at the City Ground. And we get drawn against Liverpool. The only English club in the British club in the competition who'd won it the year before.
Dalglish. Oh, what a save. Peter Shilton. Beautiful stuff. Not a bad looking cross. Woodcock. And a superb goal. Nottingham Forest, the league champions, beating the European champions 2-0 here at the City Ground in Nottingham.
To take a 2-0 lead to Anfield was a big confidence booster. But we went up on the morning of the game on the team coach. And Cloughie got up and he walked down the coach and said, anybody fancy a beer, lads? This is about 12 o'clock. We're going into Liverpool. And a couple of lads had a beer. I thought, I'm not having a drink. I'm playing at second leg of the European Cup tonight. So we went to the hotel. We had a meal, lunchtime, and then Cluffy gets up and everyone wanted a glass of wine, lads. A few of the lads had a glass of wine. And we always joke that Jimmy Gordon had to go around knocking a few of the players up at 4:30 for the tea and toast before we went to the game. But it just completely relaxed the players, you know. It just took the tension out, and we ended up getting a 0-0. And you know, it was a dream come true to finally, you know, get into the competition proper and knock the holders out.
So having knocked Liverpool out of the European Cup, then you go on obviously deep into the competition and all the way to a final. Yeah, we do.
A lot of people are saying that Malmo are not a very good side and not obviously not very well known, but they've got to the final of the European Cup and beaten some good sides, so they must be a good side themselves.
You can't do anything at all without getting very, very competent players. We have the world's best goalkeeper, for example. So obviously we have a pretty strong side.
You want to play well, but the most important thing in any final is winning it and getting the trophy, because people only remember winning. And we were 1-0 up. But still, in the last minute, 1-0 up, you're thinking, you've got to be on your toes. You could have a shot any minute, but thankfully the final whistle went and we won it. For that dream to come true was just something that, you know, no matter what else you do in your life, it's, you know, it's something that you'll never ever forget, you know, and it was that moment that we'd done it.
We sent Brian a cake for his birthday last Friday, with Peter Shilton doing the honours for us.
I've been asked to present this to you.
All right, give over. Oh, bye.
From Brian Moore.
Are you kidding?
I thought it was a bit dodgy.
Are you sure you're not kidding? There's not a bloody...
Right.
It doesn't blow up, does it?
I don't think so. You better not do it, 'cause his fault if it does. Right.